let's take a look at equity and bias in mentoring. The mentoring relationship is a meeting of equals, even though you might often be judged more senior than your mentee. In an organizational context, it's a natural feature that someone more experienced might have a more senior role, or be considered to have more status in the relationship. This creates a natural emphasis or bias towards what you think and believe as a mentor. Where your intention as a mentor is to provide support and guidance, it's natural that you'll draw upon your experience in learning to do it. However, it's also necessary for the mentee to feel at ease to discuss potentially difficult or awkward topics, ask tough questions, and get to grips with the realities of your experience. Another pitfall when we wield too much power in the conversation is that we might assume that we're all managing the mentee, or perhaps through making requests of them giving instructions or homework. The mentor's aim is to support the mentee's growth and progress while increasing their sense of empowerment. If the mentor tries to manage them, this clearly is counterproductive. The responsibility for learning and growth is with the mentee. It means that the mentee is not making progress or meeting their objectives for sessions than the mentee who has the primary duty to act. When you work on this principle throughout the mentoring relationship, it enables both parties to retain a healthy perspective on situations. It stems from the need to place the ownership of the mentee's result with the mentee, to encourage the mentee to feel empowered in their circumstances and to help them build commitment. Where there might be a natural tendency for us to want to help or encourage success of the mentee, the potential to feel some ownership or begin to have a specific agenda for the mentee's progress increases. The principle of responsibility for learning and progress resulting with the mentee works best when agreed upon up front. You and your mentee can agree on how you want to work together. Mentoring is a collaboration between you, your mentee, and everyday life, with all of its unexpected developments and events. As a mentor, you can make an effort to increase certainty in the relationship, yet ultimately, it's not possible to predict what will happen once sessions begin. A mentor relationship may begin in one direction and switch to another. Your mentee and their ongoing circumstances are beyond your ability to know fully or predict with certainty. Where we're unable to control life's twists and turns, it's more logical to accept them and even embrace them. Sometimes we're fortunate to see the benefit. Remember, the primary purpose of the relationship is to benefit the learning and progress of the mentee. When an effective mentor is engaged, there can be a tendency for them to become emotionally invested in the outcome. It might be that you want your mentee to make what you believe are better choices, or to change certain behaviors or tendencies, and perhaps your mentee is not as responsive to your suggestions as you'd like them to be. If we're motivated to experience the pleasure of what we see as a successful outcome, or the gratification of the mentee getting it right, then when their actions fall short of our expectations, we may feel frustrated. The extent of your involvement is to advise, support, help, and guide, and that's all. So this can provide a helpful boundary for you, which can help you to relax about what happens outside of your mentoring conversation. By adopting this principle, you're remaining impartial to potential outcomes. This doesn't mean that you're not interested in what your mentee does, merely that you'll retain a balanced view of it. If you accept that empowering someone else is more valuable than fixing things for them, then this principle is logical and hopefully acceptable to you. A mentor is made more accessible by their imperfections rather than any false facade of perfection. With any type of one-on-one intervention, there's a tendency to want impressive improvements, outcomes, and results. When the assignment is part of a formal program, the organization may especially want to evaluate results from mentoring activity along criteria such as increased promotion rate of mentees, less talent lost to competitors, and so on. What's ultimately beneficial to the learning and progress of the mentee may not reveal itself, whether within the time frame of an assignment, in the conscious mind of the mentee, or as something directly linked to the mentoring session. Just because an impact or outcome of a mentoring assignment is less obvious or delayed does not mean that it is insignificant or less important. It simply means that you're less aware of them. The principle that some results can be measured and some can't is intended to strengthen your approach rather than dilute it. You can stay committed to supporting your mentee to make progress and trust that you're doing that even when you're sometimes unable to identify exactly how that progress is happening. When you develop consistently with the above, all that's left to do is to trust that you'll make a positive difference to whomever you support as a mentor. Sometimes they'll show up unexpectedly and surprise and delight you.